What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sisterhood Team Call, August 18th. So excited to see you guys all here. August is flying by and September is around the corner. I'm personally super excited. It just fall just like feels like back to routine, and especially in this business, that is such a good time to be. So pumped for tonight's call. Nobody does it like Kim. So before she hops on in 5 or 10 minutes, let's do some recognitions. If anybody has any, you can take yourselves off mute.
All right, I'll start off. I know she's not on the call because she's probably enjoying her much needed vacation, but I know I talked about it last week, but it's official as of tomorrow. Clarissa Arthur is going to be Diamond, and I'm super pumped. She has been like out of the gates hot since March 1st of mentorship. Made Success Club every month, Success Starter, Emerald, and now, oh, she is here. I see her beautiful face. Anyways, I am just so excited because last year when I read the magic book, it was asked of us to write 10 things that, 10 things that we were thankful for that already happened. And every day I wrote, I want a runner, because I was never one. And I regret that. And I know that there's a time and place for every different type of person in this business. But Clarissa's been running, and I'm just so thankful that she's running next to me. And yeah, so she's going to enter the quals for the Blue Mountain, and I'm just super pumped for her.
Okay, I'll go next. I just wanted to take a second to acknowledge and thank all of the RISE coaches who showed up to our retreat last weekend in Peterborough. It was frigging incredible. It was the first time, the second time really for me having my team together, but there was 20 of us there, 19 women and 1 man. And it was incredible. We had a blast, and I cannot encourage you guys enough to get together with your teammates, get together with fellow coaches in person, because it just lit a massive fire in all of us. So thanks again to everyone who made the trek and for coming.
I'll go. Following Ku's announcement, or Clarissa, I want to give a massive congrats to Ku, who will be going into 1-star qual starting tomorrow, which is like amazing. So awesome. Your like consistency and dedication and resiliency in this business shows and shines, and I'm so proud of you. And 6 weeks from tomorrow, you are going to be officially qualified to go to NLC, which has been like the goal for 2021. I'm so excited for you. I love your smile right now. And yeah, super proud of you. Way to go. Congrats. I also really just want to give a massive shout out. I know there's so many coaches who are pushing for the October retreat right now, who are pushing to get to Diamond, who are pushing to hold their rank, who are pushing to get back. And I see you. Like, it's not easy. August is not easy. This is no walk in the park. And I see you with your big goals. I see you working and crawling back, and like, hats off to you. I can't wait for October. And I think next week is the official court. Is that right? There's 1 week left to qualify. And I see all you guys pushing. So way to go.
Anybody else? All right, I wanted to give a shout out to Clarissa and Kate for sharing on the Crush Nation call on Monday. It was absolutely incredible. For them to ask us who the rising stars are, we do not take that lightly. And to see you guys go on that call and just like represent the sisterhood in such a massive way, I could cry. Honestly, it was really, really cool to see and kind of unexpected, you know, because sometimes as brand new coaches, it's like, you just don't know what you're capable of until you're put there, right? And you guys just totally rose to the occasion and added so much value to that call and to that team and to our team. So really, really proud of you, Clarissa and Kate, for how you handled and how you held yourself on that call. So congrats to you guys. I wanted to say welcome to Marianne because I see her. She like literally joined as a coach 2 days ago, isn't even in the chat pod yet, but obviously is resourceful because she's on this call. So yes, you. And yeah, Kim is going to hop on in a couple of minutes. So I'll just talk maybe briefly about connections. What Kim's going to come on tonight and talk about is making connections to build your business. You know, when we start this business, it's so much to do with your warm market, your friends, your family, because building these communities with the people we love is really exciting and fun. And your sisters, your aunts, your cousins, your besties, like those are the people that are going to help you gain some early momentum in this business, give you confidence as a coach. Like they're the ones that make you a coach because they're the first people in your group. They're OG, you know, but as you go on, this business really shifts and becomes a lot about making connections with new people. And it doesn't necessarily mean strangers, making new connections with other people in your life, like other, you know, Facebook friends that you no longer talk with, or Instagram or wherever, right? Or just even in person. I think and I've said this before, but I'll say it again, one of the things I always used to pester Kim about was like what she was doing differently than us. And especially in the beginning, right? Because she'd be like, I'm just doing the bat like more times than you. And I'm like, yeah, but like, there's only so many hours in the day, you know, I wasn't buying it. And I would constantly pester her about like, but what are you doing differently? And really at the core, what Kim does differently is makes incredible connections, and she genuinely cares. And she said something recently about how you can't teach people to care. And for that, you know, I think it does take a type of person in order to do this job, right? But I don't know that I would classify myself as somebody that like overly cares about others, you know, but what I have found, like, it sounded bad, but like, you know what I mean, right? But what I have found in this job is that when there's someone on the other side that I really connect with, boom, I'm invested. You know, when there's someone on the other side that like I believe is ready to take action in their life, is going to show up in these groups, like that really excites me, you know, and I'm ready to show up for them. So you know, one of my big goals is to find more of those women. And that's, I think, what I would love to take from tonight. But I know that Kim is going to have so much to offer our team. Erin, did you want to chat about connections before Kim pops on? Oh, is Kim there already? Hi, I see you. Hi. Well, you need no introduction. Kim is number 4 in the freaking company right now, guys, out of 400,000 coaches. It is so cool. I started this business because I watched her lead an accountability group that I was in, and I was kind of like, is this girl doing this as a job for real? Like, I could do this too. She made it seem so normal and so non-MLM-y, is exactly how I felt about Kim when I saw her doing this. She inspired me to start this business because she was a super down-to-earth, normal human making an impact in my life. So she must have been making an impact in others, right? So we're so lucky to have you here. I know the entire team just really resonates with you, and we have so much to learn from you. So thank you for taking the time to be here amongst your chaos right now of moving.
I feel great out here. This has been my new office, and then I walk inside, I'm like, anyway, guys, oh my gosh, I am so looking forward to this call. And, you know, Courtney messaged me last week and she's like, can you get on a call? You know, I really feel like we need to connect on connections and inviting and just really leaning back into the basics. And I'm like, yes, get me on that freaking call because this is my jam. I don't ever travel far without my trusty unglamorous knapsack. that has my Rise Up planner. I do want to talk a little bit about inviting, and I want to talk about systems, and I want to talk about your mindset. Now, I know for a lot of people, some of you really love tracking electronically. One of the things that I've noticed for me and you need to figure out what works best for you. I get very detached when I electronically track. I'm completely detached from electronic tracking. It doesn't serve me. What serves me and my creativity in this business are these pens. Okay, so you all, first of all, this is not the training part, but you all need these pens. These are Papermate Ink Joy Gel 0.7s, and they come in every color. And I have an organizing system of who signs up as a coach, as a client, as a prospect in colors. It soothes my soul. It gets me freaking excited, and I like it. So you have to have your own system. Some of you may use spreadsheets, Excel spreadsheets, whatever that is, but I am a very creative person. And the other thing I will say is that I'm very connected to the names that I write down. I want to show you something. This is not to brag, but I'm just going to show you something like real facts, because I want you to see the consistency. I only write down on this paper who signs up with me. That's it. These are the women that are signing up. These are not prospects. These are not people that I have potentially talked to. These are people that are ready to go and build a freaking business month after month after month after month. And those are all new names. Now, I don't say that to brag. I want to show you proof, because I think sometimes people think somewhere along the lines, we don't really work our business, and not that we don't work our business, but that we don't invite, right? Every month. So I like this system because it works for me. I also know that when it becomes a habit, it will become something that's second nature for you. I get worried. I'm going to show you August right now. I'm like not impressed with August at all. Not impressed. It's a little sparse. It's a little sparse. It's a little holy over here, and I don't like that. And this gives me a really good idea of like, if those are not solid names. Again, I used to be the coach that would write down like my Fitz Life community, and I'd write down the 100 women that joined, and only 4 of them might have joined. But in your head, it will trick you that you've done a better job that day. And I don't mean that disrespectfully of better. You're all fantastic, and we all have different benchmarks. So I think that that's something that's super important. So one of the things that I do too is, now included in this list are prospects for sure, right? And they're women that will sign up. Like I get on a call with, I have a close rate of 99%. There's not a person that gets off a phone call with me that's not signing up with a challenge pack and a cart in their message as soon as we're done talking. It's like, this is the way it goes for me. So my prospects I actually use on Instagram in collections. So I want you on my team, potential client, potential coach, etc. So I save them into collections, and then I go into the collections, and I will like foster those relationships. And if I'm ever like just need to go connect, that's where I go first. So collections are huge on Instagram. The other thing I would note, if there are people that you really do want on your team, that's what the list is for on your hot list at the beginning of the Rise Up Planner, or use some form of notes, tracking, Excel, Teamsy, whatever that is you use. I liked Teamsy, but I found Teamsy overwhelmed me, and I found I was working my power hour took me 3 hours. It didn't take me 1 hour. I'm very much like this. I go through my Instagram, I have my pen, and I just go right through, and I go back and I go back and I go back and I go back. So I also go back to my messages a lot, and I rely on my messages, which probably isn't the best thing, because what if Facebook and Instagram goes away? So the other thing I have is emails. So every single person that I connect with, I send them a link, like a bit.ly link that they fill out, and now they're in my prospects in Entreport. So I do have an electronic tracking system that's through Entreport. So I've got hundreds of people on my newsletter list. I have hundreds of people from Fitz Life. And I do have and I send out those newsletters. So that from a process perspective, for those of you that are newer coaches, check out MailChimp, check out Jotform. You need to have some form of an email, something you can pull emails in, right? So that is what I also know, that when I have a prospect, I do have their email and I'm hitting them in a nurturing series of the emails or the newsletter or free groups coming up. Does that make sense? That helpful? Because I just wanted to make sure like that you see their systems for sure. But for a nurturing relationship-based, let's get me with my hands like this, like Courtney and I, like this, I write those names down because I want them in my face. My prospects are going to be people that aren't ready yet, right? You're going to connect with them. You're going to make sure that you're talking to them. But these are the women that I'm spending freaking time with. And you only have a certain amount of time. The other thing I do is I do print out Excel spreadsheets. When I talk about inviting and connections, I want to talk about clients, but I want to talk about your coaches. Guys, you need to re-invite your coaches to this business opportunity all the time. You are going to have coaches that do not work, but they want to come back and work 5 months later or 6 months later. And how are you keeping touch with them? How are you making sure of that? So I also make sure that when I have connections with my coaches, I write down coaches that are still really working on their client journey, right? How many of you have those coaches that are like, I'm almost ready, I'm not ready yet. They're not ready to hit Success Club. Those are the women that you lean in so hard on their journey. I am using Courtney because she's a perfect example of that, right? Courtney needed her journey first. If I had approached Courtney with coaching in January with Erin, that never would have flown, ever. They weren't there yet. And I think sometimes we do need to be patient. And I think there's absolutely an opportunity for urgency, but I think there's also an opportunity for really doing your job as a coach. And I think a lot of people rush people through the client perspective and they're not ready. And then they don't hit Success Club, they don't hit Success Starters, and you've lost that. So I nurture that. I nurture that hard. And I'm just like waiting. I love to slide into my discount coaches or my now preferred customers. I've switched a lot of them for preferred customers. And I also slide into a lot of my clients' DMs, like, when are you going to coach? Are you ready yet? Sneak peek's coming. You're amazing. I do that all the time. So my connections, guys, and my invites are not only on Instagram to strangers. They are to develop beautiful relationships with the clients I serve. And I honestly have a hard time sitting around the table with some seasoned, and I'm not throwing shade because I think everybody builds their own business, but I will tell you, Moira Kusaba runs her own challenge packs. I run through my own challenge packs. There's no assistants that are doing that for us. There's no assistants that are completing the client orders and don't know your clients. That doesn't serve my soul. There are a lot of other coaches that do that, and that really works for them. And that's awesome. But I can't train on that because that's not my jam. It could be other coaches' jam. They're very successful in that, but that's not my experience with how I have found success because I'm a servant leader. I truly want people to be moving through the process. And I have found that most of the most successful coaches are coaches that have gone through their own journey and fallen in love with Beachbody and fallen in love with the products, and they're not afraid to share. So that's one thing that I wanted to just kind of like root us in that conversation and that dialogue at the idea and this notion that getting back to the basics of serving is actually what we do. And then there's an opportunity to help people understand what coaching is. But I don't know about you guys. I have yet to have any coaches that have started with zero interest in Beachbody that are successful. Like I don't. And in fact, it's harder for me to work with them and mentor them because they're just like, nah. And I'm like, oh my God, you're like, this is killing me. This isn't worth it to you because you're just literally thinking you're better than this. And this isn't working for me. Like, I don't have time for this. And I actually have radar up. I'm like, not worth my time. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but it's like, if this is too good for you, you're not my person. I'm sorry. Like, I've been there where I've spent hours with coaches that have freaking quit. Like, guard your time, guys, guard your invites. I'm very, very careful with my invites, right? Like, if someone says they're not ready, they go into my Fitz Life free community, they're never left with nothing. So anytime someone says no to me, and we've been talking about meal planning or meal prepping, like the other day, I just had somebody that was talking about meal planning. I put her in my Fitz Life community, and now feels really comfortable. She's great, and she's going to sign up with me next month. Perfect. But she wasn't going to join me just from me not knowing what I offered. So for me, I've run 79 free groups. So for 79 months, I have run 79 free groups. And those are 3 days. And they really help me with my inviting. And that's not for everybody. It's not going to be everyone's jam to run free groups, and that's okay. But what I have found by running free groups and one of the things, my most successful free group, which shocked the shit out of me, I signed up 20 women last month, was 5 days with me. Thought I was going to die because it was 5 days and I only like 3 days of free. But it was the Fitz Life free community that I've run too for like the same group. I just keep it going, switch the banner, and put in some new information. But this was one where I actually went on Instagram and I was like, who's struggling with their mindset? Who's struggling with their morning routine? And who's struggling to like eat well? Let's do it together for 5 days. I'm going to coach you, and you're going to have like a mini sneak peek into what my client group is. Now, I know that Erin and Court and you guys have done that before. I hadn't, and that was super successful for me. I'm thinking about, I'm probably going to do this, and I believe you guys have done this too. I'm going to do a sample coach sneak peek the same way, where they're going to just get like a free invite to come see what coaching's all about, you know, posting sweaty selfies, things like that, and try to actually change it up a little bit to bring it back to the basics of what inviting is. We are inviting to this opportunity to help others be able to use this vehicle, use the products, you know, be able to use the platforms and really run with it. But I feel like what I'm noticing is that the less bought in they are to the company and the products and the programs, the harder it is for people to actually convert. So that's one thing that I wanted to certainly share. Okay, Tina, do I find coaches are successful when they sign up as a coach from the get-go and skip the client experience? Okay, so what I've done is I've had some that are like, I'm ready, give it to me, I want a fire hose. And then they're crying on the 10th day that this is horrible and overwhelming. So I actually just say, why don't you start as a client first? And I typically will take people through the client experience, and then I will pull them into the next coach group that's starting. So they're going to see that so I've got about 15 women going into the coaching sneak peek next week that have all been clients, 15 women ready to roll. They're like all right here on my names. And those are who I'm working with right now. So I find that that's very helpful. So it's not that I'm saying no, it's that I'm just saying sign up right now. And now they can potentially sign up as preferred customers, and then they can switch over to coaching. But I usually sign most coaches up as clients first, and then switch them over to coaches. Now, that doesn't work if you're going for a really big goal. That doesn't work if you really are looking to rank advance. I'm in a different position right now. So you have to do what's best for your business and what makes sense for your business and your organization. That being said, I've had about 4 coaches that have had 0 client experience, and they've come out of the gates. Some are still with me, some are not. But again, it comes back down to them actually believing in the products that they're sharing. How many of you would go and tell your family and your friends about a product that you've never used before? How many of you would do that? Like, would you do that and give it like, say you need to try this and you've never tried it? You wouldn't do that typically. So I try to explain that in this process, that's the exact same thing. I'm just going to see if I can answer some questions. I put the free group content together myself. Like I said, I've run 79 groups, so I've got a shit ton of content in my Evernote files, and I just pull it together. I find it really easy. I Google and search the topics and put in some really great valued content and then some recipes. I go live. I don't find free groups hard to put together. For some people, they find that really hard and stressful, and they like to buy the content. I typically don't buy the content. I just kind of make it up. So it's my voice and really feels good to me. It takes a little bit of time the first few times, but if you're using other people's content and you find it's not working for you, there's probably a reason, because you're not using your content. It's not your voice. It's not why people joined you in the first place. Malin, okay, yeah. What benefit are you seeing for changing discount coaches to preferred customers? So I actually had a couple of them that were really excited about it, and they felt better about it. They're like, I just am not interested in coaching. This feels so good to me. I had one of my preferred customers today bought like $400 worth of products. She's like, I'm so excited. Put everything on auto ship. This is fantastic. And I'm like, what was the switch? She said, I don't know. She goes, I always felt like there was going to be this pressure to start coaching. She goes, it just wasn't my thing. So I'm finding it an easier conversation with the preferred member. And I really loved what Erin shared with the team when she said, I really want you in the membership. This is an amazing way for you to be a deeper part, but not a coach. And I'm using that terminology too. So I found that's been super helpful. Yes, Koo, I keep the same people in the same group. So I have 2,800 people in that group, and I usually convert about 4 to 10 every month of new clients. And yes, Pinterest, that's what it's, yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's one part I wanted to talk about. I wanted to show you my Rise Up planner. And I wanted to just get seriously real with you guys. Listen, inviting's not natural. It's not comfortable. It kind of feels icky, and it can feel icky. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to have conversations with people that aren't serious. I'm exhausted over that. And I'm starting to realize that, like, I really want to have passion in this. So I've been really noodling on this, and I'm excited to talk to you guys about it, because I actually haven't shared this with the team, because I love the business activity tracker and I think it's amazing. But I do think that a lot of coaches just go through the motions and they actually don't do quality invitations. And then they're pissed that this doesn't work. And then they're so upset that things aren't going right. So I've kind of decided that when I make a connection, I'm going to do it based on what people are interested in and the women that I actually want to work with too. I'm finding it less scary to reach out to women that inspire me and talk to them about business and the coaching opportunity to see if it's a good fit for them. If anything, I'm noticing those women are becoming all my clients, which is really cool. So when you go in and you like lead and start talking to people that inspire you, I'm now going on a vibe. I will have a vibe that I want. I want a vibe in my client group. I do not want women that are victims. I can't. Like I've actually gone so far, and I don't know that this is good advice, but I've actually gone so far to tell some of my current clients I'm not the right coach for them because of the exhaustion and the questions, and that's not what this is. Our job is to be a guide. Our job is to be a conduit of the most incredible resources. But if we are not articulating that, we are going to attract women that aren't ready for you. So guard how you're inviting. This isn't begging people to come join you. This is having fucking confidence that you are incredible, and why wouldn't they join your group? If you start, and men, Eric. So if you don't have the confidence in your invitations, you are going to attract victims. If you're tired and you're showing up in your stories and it's like whatever noodle sticks, get intentional. One of the things I did yesterday, I am tired right now. My house is a disaster zone, and I'm excited about that because I asked for this. Okay, I asked for this. I asked for this reno. We asked for what's unfolding for us in our life. But what I knew is that I also asked for this business. And I know that I can't take my foot off the gas because things are busy. That's not an option for me. That shouldn't be an option for you either. So what I decided to do was I went in my stories and I said, how can I serve you this week? I picked the 4 topics I know the most about: nutrition, mindset, morning routine, evening routine. All things that I'm working on. I had the most overwhelming response to people saying, I want to learn about all of these things. I'm like, perfect, because this is all I have in my fucking arsenal for you. Sorry about my swearing. And now I feel equipped. Whereas yesterday I felt like I was drowning. I think a lot of times when we don't know what to invite to is because we're not organized and we're allowing life to suck us up whole. But if you get organized and you put yourself in the power seat of your business and what you're good at and what you're strong at, people are going to pay attention. So that is what I would recommend when it comes to sharing valuable content, which is where you're going to make the connections. The other thing I would recommend is that, and I shared this in one of our chats today, I noticed on Saturday, because I was busy, somebody hearted one of my workout posts or one of my workout stories. And I was going back and I was doing my follow-ups in my Facebook, in my Instagram today. I noticed that she commented on that. And she's the same person who asked for meal prep and meal planning information in my poll. I would have missed her because I didn't take the time to ask her, oh, thanks for liking my workout video I did outside. Are you working out? How are you doing? Where are you at? Sometimes our invitations, we miss them because people are giving compliments back on your stories. How many of you have people that give compliments back on your stories or comment on your stories, but you don't go into conversation with them? Because they're like, oh my God, I love that, this, right? You've got to get into conversations with every single person that's in your story. They're landing in your inbox for a reason. And even if it's just an emoji, there's a reason why they're commenting or emojiing on your story. Yet it's easy just to heart it, right? It's easy to heart it. Thanks. So she's now in she's now in one of my groups, and now we're talking about nutrition and a challenge pack. And I would have missed her. So sometimes we need to get out of our own way and stop trying to clean out the inbox. And we need to actually take and create time for your invites. Your invites are the most important time. And when I sit down and I actually put myself in a state of who can I serve today, and I get myself out of rushedly trying to clean out the inbox or rushedly trying to invite, the connections are phenomenal. So that's a tip I have and I would recommend. And then the other thing I would talk about with inviting is, when is your best time of day? I am not good at night, yet that's when I was inviting. I'm my best in the morning, like a rock star in the morning. In fact, I'm even better at inviting before my workout, which doesn't always work for me. I'm trying to massage that, but be a steward of your flow, of what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Because if you're hold on, you're coming with me. I'll just turn off the oven and no one's here. If you guys are doing invites when you're not engaged, it's going to come across big time in how you're talking. Okay, those are quick. It's going to come across in how you are talking. So when are you your best? When are you in your best state? For me, I'm in my best state after I've done my meditation, my journaling. I've written out how incredible our team is and that we're crushing life, right? And I know exactly who I want to partner with. I'm reviewing my vision. I'm reviewing the goals I have for Success Club. When you are visiting the goals you're actually writing out, that is when you are going to start making that transactional, right? A lot of times I think we look at what we write down. For me, mine's typically SC100. That's a goal. That's a benchmark I have for myself, right? Which means for me, my non-negotiable is SC20 by the 5th of the month. That's my non-negotiable. And for me, that requires massive action. So what are your non-negotiables? Have you set a date with your non-negotiables? Because your inviting and your connections will directly correlate with where you're at in that. So if all you're setting is SC10 by the 30th, you're selling yourself short. When I hit SC20 by the 5th, I'm like, I got this in the bag. Because I know I'm going to be having all these conversations. So I'm talking to 15 to 30 women a day, every day, 7 years. Even when it's chaotic, even when it's crazy. So you have to really guard yourself of what you really want and what you're willing to go for. That being said, your goal may not be anywhere close to mine. Your income benchmark may be nowhere close to mine. but I know where I'm going. And I know where a lot of the women and men on our team want to go. And here's the real truth. A lot of you aren't willing to put that work in, but you say that you want it. And that's the conversation you have to have with yourself. To me, talking to 15 to 30 women in a day, yeah, can it be overwhelming? Well, if you let it be. But I know that working 24 hours a day for someone else and being called in on night shift and not seeing my kids and seeing my kids for 20 minutes a day, no, this isn't hard. I can spend an hour doing this. So perspective's everything. And I think you need to really drill down on what you want. And that's the difference. So inviting is hard if you allow it to be hard. Think about people that need to sell photocopiers. How many sales calls they need to do. Imagine you had a boss that was auditing your invites. That's like most marketing companies. Most marketing positions, you're audited. Whether or not you've made those connections, the names are written down and you're audited. How would your performance, if you were only earning commission off of that, where would your business be? Think about that. If you had a manager riding your ass, if you've done your 30 connections every day, how uncomfortable that would be, how frustrating that would be, how stressful that would be, right? Hoping people pick up the phone. I've been there in retirement living. My marketing and sales women and men, or the people working there, were so stressed. Their sales quotas were insanity. They had to call 45 people a day. A day. Those are young families. Those are moms of people that have like this is a business. Yet this is your own business on social media. And if we think this part of it's hard, I think you're missing the point that any sales and marketing and building anything is hard work at the beginning. But the coolest part about this is you get to do it on your own terms. Nobody's coming in your home to check your Rise Up planner and your colored pens, right? That's on you. And I want to ask you, when no one's looking, how hard are you working? When no one's looking, how hard are you working? Guys, I'm telling you, you can build a kick-ass business in 2 to 3 hours a day. You can build a kick-ass business. I can't believe how I'm working smarter and less, and I'm doing way more. But you got to get intentional with your time, and you have to take these invitations so seriously. If you, like, I'm panicked right now looking at my August list. I'm disappointed in myself because I haven't focused, and that's okay because I'm going to catch up. And then I'm going to screenshot this and I'm going to show you guys by the 30th. There's 100 names on here because I got to work hard. We all have to work hard. So I'm not coming in saying that I'm the bee's knees and I've got it all figured out and every month is amazing, but you have to set standards in your business. And those are going to be different for you, right? Maybe 100 names is way too much, but 10 is 10 there for you. Cool. Let's roll with that. Where are you at? Because this is not hard. This is not hard. This is not a hard business. This is a beautiful business and it's a gift. And one thing I'll share as well is that when I find I'm most detached from the business, the only thing that brings me back in is connecting. It's having conversations with women, it's and men, and cheering people on and getting in our team pages and being in the pods and really helping people in their business. How many of you are service driven? How many of you, when you get people engaging back and, oh my gosh, I love that story, that really resonates. So you will start to get into a cadence. The more you invite, you will start to feel that almost dopamine hits when you know you've really connected with women and the people that you want on your team, right? So I think it's really important that we don't mince our words when it comes to inviting and connections. And I think a lot of the times we try to make it so pretty and fancy when really it's not. It's you being a human and you having a really cool human connection with another human. And if you're not out there sharing what's working for you and showing up in your stories and being vulnerable and you know, like not just showing what you do, but talking about why you're doing it and how you're doing it. And that's inviting too. Every single day you show up in your stories is an opportunity to invite someone into your life. And it is an opportunity to invite someone into more than you're probably sharing. I love this analogy. Robin Sharma shares it. If anyone needs a course, I'm doing Robin Sharma's, it's called Sharma Nation. It's Success University. And right now it's called Extraordinary Leadership. So I'm on the 6th lesson. They're an hour or so, you get credits for it. It's very cool. Anyway, Robin Sharma, in one of his conversations in the course today, he said, how many of you go to work, like your job, your career? And because this is what happens in our careers, we get conditioned to be like this. And you only have your window half open because you're told to leave everything at home. Because when you go to work, you're working. You're not talking about your problems. You can't talk about what's going on. You need to leave your problems at the door. Is that right? Is that fair? How many of you, I worked in that business. I had to leave my problems at the door. Well, this business is the opposite of that. In fact, you get to be the change agent in your own stories and your own posting with what's working and what's not. But here's the change. It's allowing yourself to shift from being that person with the window half cracked, showing half of you, and start to show and share more of you. Because that's where the leadership comes in. That's where people really start to understand what's going on for you. You know, one of the things I will say, your stories, you're inviting to coaching every day. What books are you reading? What leadership episodes or what leadership stuff are you sharing? What accounts are you following? People are watching all of that. They're watching to see whose accounts you're sharing, who you're following, right? What thought leaders you're following. Like, this is like, social media is a powerful tool, and people want to join people that care about shit, right? Social media is your business. So how are you treating it as such? I remember I used to get caught in the like game, and I was worried, okay, not enough likes here, and I'd waste so much time. And the one thing I realize now about social media is that it is important to become indifferent to the likes, but know how relevant social media is for your business. Social media is such a business tool, but you can become indifferent to whether or not a post went viral or whatever that is. Like, take the emotion out of that so that you aren't determining your worth by what you are putting out in the world. Because if it's on your heart, it's meant to be there. How many of you have deleted a post because you didn't think it was getting enough traction? Anyone? Good. I'm glad. How many of you have deleted a story because you think you messed up the words? Anyone? It's good. It's fine. Yeah, like, it's fine. Sometimes I think those are the best ones when you do mess up, because it just shows you're human. So one thing I want to share, I know I keep saying that. I should stop saying that word before I share, because I'm just going to keep sharing. But we aren't meant to be experts. And somewhere I think along the line, we get caught up with thinking we have to be an expert in this, when really you just have to be yourself. You get to share what you're learning. Every single live I do, I'm holding a crumpled piece of paper or someone else's book, and I'm reading it because I don't want to be the expert. In fact, I want to continue to stay grounded to the human connection. I'm getting a tattoo in Arizona with Aaron and Court. They're going to get one too. I'm just kidding. But I'm getting a tattoo of a thread and a needle. And here's why. I believe that with everything that's happening in the world, and with social media and all the things, all the different opinions in the world, it's super simple to get distracted from the root and being connected to human connection. We're in this business connected by a thread and needle. And the minute you break the thread, you've lost your connection to your business. when you give away your client groups, when you stop caring about the things that light you up, when you try to systemize and processize and make sure like take every human element out of it, it will make you disconnected. I'll never forget talking to Lindsay Matway. She said, Kim, I outsourced everything, that I no longer felt like I had control of what really made me happy, which is serving. So stay close to what lights you up. You can get assistants. They're amazing. I have 3. They're fantastic. But what do you love doing? Drill down on that. What do you love about inviting? What do you love? How do you love showing up on social? What are your pockets? What do you love sharing? What are you really good at? That's the work. The work is learning what you're freaking rising at and what you're good at and what you're interested in. And here's the thing. I had a beautiful conversation with Julie. She's one of my coaches, and I'm sure she'd be okay with me sharing this, who is a beautifully newly pregnant mama. She's 5 months along with a baby girl. And she messaged me. She's like, I just feel so lost. I'm just not the same. And I'm supposed to be working out, and I'm supposed to be doing this, and I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm like, whose box are you fitting yourself in? You are a mom now, and you are growing and you are evolving. Like, who are you now? And she's like, I never even, and maybe this isn't new to you guys, but to her it was. So if one of you are forgetting that as you grow and evolve, your business will too. Your invites will change. The way you show up will change. Your voice will change. Give yourself permission to evolve into who you are today. The world is heavy. There is a lot happening in the world. There is a lot of unknown stuff in the world. There is a lot of things that are happening for all of us. None of us are the same as the day we walked into coaching. None of us. So why are we still maintaining that? Who are you today? And I don't care if you can't get your morning routine together. That doesn't make you a terrible coach. That makes you real and relatable, and you're figuring it out. So get rid of the perfectionism. That was very 2019, which basically is extinct, because now we're in Jurassic Park level, I don't know what, or Jumanji. We're in level something of Jumanji at this point. So why would you not be you right now in your invites, in your connections, on your social media, in your lives, in your reels? Stop trying to be trendy and be you. If things aren't working, it's because you're not being you. You're not actually sharing your voice. You're ticking off a box. You're ticking off, I posted, but it was fitting the marketing plan that really didn't connect to my soul. How many of you will write like something just like it's comes so easily to you? It's 5 minutes, you able to just get out your heart, it's shorter. Those are probably your most connected posts. Would you say those are usually your most connected posts rather than just like reposting someone else's posts? Because it means it came from your heart. And when things come from your heart, people want to see that. So just remember that when it comes down to inviting, it comes down to your own connection with yourself. And typically when you feel like you're off your invites, you're usually off your own connection. And when you're off your own connection, you're typically off your business. There's a cycle there. It's a circle. Like Q singing the circle of life. But like, that's the way it goes. So the more connected you are to yourself, the more connected you are to who you want to be, who you want to attract, and the characteristics of that, the closer you are going to be to autonomy in staying super consistent in your habits. Because this is you, and you are going to show up every day, even when it's hard. So that's what I have for you guys.
You are so amazing. And honestly, I feel like I could have sat here all night just like this. But I took so many notes and so many things that I want to go back to. But I love so much about what you're talking about connecting and how it all comes down to you knowing yourself the best, what you love about this business, focusing on what you love about this business, focusing on what you're good at, and bringing it all back to connecting. We have some time, and Kim is here, guys. If you have any questions, add them in the chat, and we'll do a little bit of a Q&A. Kim, you have time for a Q&A? Yeah. Okay. So we have the queen herself here, guys. So don't waste this. Don't waste this time. And maybe Courtney, do you have any questions to start off, or I will dive into mine?
I was going to punch one in the chat there. I was just going to say, like, if you had 5 minutes and you need to find, 5 to 10 new followers that you feel like are great, like, what would you do?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I do like going to hashtags and I like going to places. I'm finding better luck with going to places versus hashtags right now. So I will go to places I love. So for me, I really go local because I'm finding more success with some local stuff, to be honest. And I would love to continue to build out my local team as well as building and expanding. But if I only have 5 minutes, I do local because I find it's an easier connect. So I will do, specifically on Instagram, I will go into places, so things that are near me, locations people have gone to, waterfalls, hikes, things that I like, and I usually find active families, things like that, which I like. That's my jam, and I'm really working to connect with that. If I'm on Facebook, I actually go in the mom groups and I read some of the posts, and then I comment on them. And because and I also really like to comment on comments. I am a comment surfer. I like meaty, detailed, awesome comments, and I will comment on the commenter, and then I will go to her page. And I'm like, we better become these best friends because I loved what you just said on that. And that's my connection point. So that's what I like to do. It's very genuine. And it's typically from, like Kat and Nat, I can spend days in their comments and find wicked women to connect with because they're my people that are laughing about their mom truths or their granny panties that make me laugh. Things that make me laugh, things that make me keep my attention. I go and I look for the women that it keeps their attention to because they're usually my people.
So good. Okay, I have a question, and your SC100 I find so inspiring, but I also feel overwhelmed by that. How do you keep up with all of the people? Like, how do you do you serve so well so many people?
Okay, so I am an email machine. I love to email. So for me, for 645, they're getting weekly emails from me that have purchased 645, weekly just connections with 645. I detail the email just to them. So just to them about email. So it's like 4 lines. Hey, week 2, how's it going? How you doing? Here's the meal plan, out of the group. Okay, I like that. It feels good to me. And then I swear to you, I will write in my check-ins in my group, have you read your email? Hey, did you read your email? I want to hear back from you. Have you read your email? And now I have women that are finally writing back to me in my emails, which is working. So I'm putting it in the challenge group. And I'm also super clear on that. I'm like, I'm not a one-on-one coach. Jen Milks, to answer your question, I do get on a call with almost everybody that I sign up. I know that sounds overwhelming, not all at once. Some of them that are SC as well they're not all brand new. Some of them are new, are just for returning customers that purchase challenge packs because the retention's great in the group, etc. So not all of those are brand new, just so you know. But I do get on calls. And then I will say too, like, I'm just a real ninja in the challenge group. I also find very valuable that new link I did, the new coach welcome link. I have like new client welcome link, sorry. I have like 75% of questions have been cut down because that link is gold. I'll send it to you guys. It's everything. It's life. It's life-giving. It's like a video of me. Then step 2, join these 2 groups. And then I follow up with them on the link. Hey, I saw you join the groups. I'm the one who's accepting them to the groups too. So I know this probably sounds overwhelming to a lot of you, but for me, that's how I like to run my business. That's not how everyone likes to run their business, and they have assistants that do that. I find it more stressful knowing that I have accepted them, they're in their place, and it's great. And I separate my clients and my coaches as well. So the coaches I tackle different, right? So the coaches that I sign up are totally different than the clients. So I find that easier because they're in 2 different spots. I'm not just trying to like pour information out. I'm super methodical. I only introduce coaches all in the same day, right? I have a system. Like, no one, if you've noticed that, if you're in the team page, everyone's announced on the same day. There's not like drips of coaches that overwhelms me. On the off chance there is, because they didn't get me their picture, but other than that, no. So everyone right now that I'm signing up as a coach is waiting for the September Academy. So I have this methodical time, and I find it's a lot easier, Erin, to just know, okay, you're in the group, you're signed up. And then I also have on automated every the 12th day, they get an email from me as a 2-week check-in. So they get a welcome client email from me with the link, join the group, and then they get a 12-day follow-up connection email, and I get almost 90% responding to that.
Oh boy. I want to do all the things. Just get off the call and do it all. I have a question about your groups. I find not just us, although we are doing this constantly, but I think a lot of our leaders and then even new coaches wondering what they should do are constantly flip-flopping on having your one community where you show up and pour everything into, but then, oh, smaller groups really work and that feels good to invite to because it's a smaller thing, and that, you know. So I know you do your one community, and I just thought maybe you could speak to that, like how you feel like bringing someone brand new into a community that's already rolling and moving and grooving.
Yeah, really good question. So I actually was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, how do I make this better? Facebook took away the welcome new members, which sucks. I used to love that. So I knew that every week I'd welcome the new members. So I do need to be better at that, welcoming them into the group. But they're pretty good. They're like ready to roll. I go live every day in the group. And I also acknowledge the new people coming in. So I also feel like that's something that's been helpful. So when I go live, I'm just like, oh my gosh, all right, if you're new here, which a lot of you are, I'm so excited you're here, here's where you need to go. So I think that they are just finding it very valuable. I keep the group super simple. My groups are so simple. It's like nutrition post, a morning check-in, I go live at some point in the day, and then I will do an evening check-in. And my evening check-ins have literally been, sometimes they're like, drop a GIF of how you're feeling, or they're like the polls. So I find my new clients that are coming in are good because in my client link, it's got prep week. It says start here. Here's how you get on here. Here's how you do this. Here's the Zoom to join. It is literally like you can't deviate. So I took out that first prep week I used to run in those groups and put it into that link. So I do think it's really helpful for new clients coming on. I've really, and I connect with them a lot on Instagram and Facebook. I'm just like, I'm fast at that. That's a strength of mine, to clean out inboxes fast. And I also have the memory of an elephant, which I know isn't everyone, but like I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and be like, crap, Melanie, I didn't message her back, which is terrible, but that's just where I'm at. And I have a bod group. Yeah, elephants have best good memories. No, I heard. Yeah, I'm on Facebook and I do bod, and I like every now and then I do try to pop in on bod. I'll save some of my good lives. I mean, they're all fairly good, but like I'll save the shorter, like punchy ones, put them in my bod group. But in my bod group, I literally say everything's in Facebook and here's the client link. Everything's in Facebook, but I still check in. My bod groups are super active though, which is great. But I'm not running things in there. But I definitely check in the bod group as well. And I also love the message component. So I send everybody a message from bod group too, so I'm touching everyone.
You are amazing. We appreciate you and your time so much. And I think tonight, of all of the calls you've ever done, you provided so much like tactical value that I know I really appreciate. I'm sure everybody else appreciates so much. Even just seeing your rise up and talking like tactically in the beginning of what you're doing. So helpful. So helpful. So appreciate you as always. And yeah, just sincerely, thank you so much.
I was so thankful to get on the call, guys. And like, I love this stuff. I can do this often whenever you need it. Whenever you've got questions about like just really drilling down the nitty gritty. I feel like too, like, these are the types of power hours I think we should be having, where it's like really drilling down on tactical stuff, rather than being like, okay, everyone go message 5 people. Okay, everybody go do the birthday hour, or respond to the birthday things. Like we can do that stuff on our own time, right? So it's like, this is the stuff where we can get nitty gritty. And now I want to know what you guys do too, right? Like, and also when you share this stuff and you get really, when you get really understand what other people do, you learn. So I think, you know, share the tips, share what's working with you. And guys, share what's not working with you. Like, there's no shame here, like ever. You can't have shame in this business. That's on you. So just stop feeling like you're behind anything. And the last thing I want to leave on, I gave you guys a lot of stuff today. I've been doing this for 7 years. And I'm also super hard on myself. And you guys don't hear the conversations with Jamie where I doubt myself all the time. So I want to remind you of that. So yes, I may sound like I have a lot together, and I do. I have amazing systems. But there are a lot of times where I just need to force myself through tears to sit down and do the work that I don't want to do. I need you to hear that. Because there are days where I don't want to do what I need to do, and you've got to do it anyway. You're not always going to feel motivated to invite. You're not always going to feel motivated to post and get your face somewhere. But that's when that's the real business owner. Sorry. That's when it comes down to who a real business owner is and someone who's going to pack it in. It's hard. This business is the hardest thing because it requires you to show up when you don't want to. So please show up when you don't want to. When you have a lump in your throat and you're tired, because that's when you're going to make the most impact. And when the women that you think aren't ready to join you are going to join you when you're ready to break, because they're like, yeah, you're not going to retreat when things get hard. That's entrepreneurship. So yeah, it's hard. Life's been hard, but that's what we're in training for, right? And I say that we have the best business platform to serve yourself and take care of yourself to be ready for when things get hard. So manage your stress and don't retreat. And let's rock this business. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Cam.
Thank you.
The best.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.